This is a true story. While exploring a cave, a man came across an uncharted passage. He had to twist and contort his body to navigate the narrow section and continue forward. A few meters later, Robert realized the tunnel ahead was becoming alarmingly tight. Fear crept in, urging him to turn back, but he quickly discovered that retreating would require him to bend his body in a very specific way. After struggling for a moment, he decided to push on, hoping to find a wider space where he could turn around. However, if he had known that the tunnel ahead would narrow further into a funnel shape and slope downwards at a 30-degree angle, perhaps the tragedy could have been avoided. To pass through the tightest section, Robert was forced to completely exhale the air from his lungs. After several attempts, he realized there was no way forward. Tragically, his chest became firmly wedged in the tunnel. One of his arms was pinned beneath his body, while the other was trapped against a sharp rock protrusion. Panic set in, and Robert called out to Richard, who was waiting outside the cave. Hearing Robert's cries, Richard knelt at the tunnel entrance, shouting into the darkness. Robert responded, explaining that he was trapped and struggling to breathe. Richard attempted to crawl into the passage, but quickly realized he wouldn't be able to free Robert on his own. An hour later, a rescue team arrived at the scene. However, Robert was trapped approximately 50 meters from the main tunnel, and the narrow passage only allowed one rescuer to pass at a time. Due to the depth of Robert's position, drilling into the rock was not an option. The team was left with no choice but to manually widen the passage using simple tools. As they worked, one rescuer noticed Robert's condition deteriorating. He began exhibiting labored, gurgling breaths, a dangerous sign of impending asphyxiation. After enlarging the keyhole-shaped passage, the rescuers managed to reach Robert's feet. Despite detecting a faint pulse in his legs, he no longer responded to their calls. The cramped confines of the cave made it impossible to pull Robert out. Someone suggested using a pulley system, but the fragile limestone structure couldn't withstand